How do my husband and I find common ground when I want more tattoos and he does not like them at all?
Ooh.
And
Good.
he does not have any, and he does not like them.
Dude, that's a great question. All right, so Wesley, why do you hate your wife? What in the world's going on? What's up? What's up? This is John with the Dr. John Delony Show, taking your calls live from all over planet Earth in a time of chaos and BANANAS. It is bananas. Taking your calls, man, trying to figure out what's the next right move with my mental and emotional health, my marriage, my kids, whatever's going on in the world. Here's my promise. I'll sit with you and we'll figure out what's the next right move. All right, let's go out to Fort Worth, 817, and talk to Aniston. What's up, Aniston?
Good morning, Dr. John. Thanks for taking our call.
Of course. And I know I'm not supposed to do this, but we screwed up the phones. And so now we're doing this again. We're running it back. For all of you guys listening, we had some great jokes, but I'm not going to remake them. All right, so I'm going to bring your husband on, Aniston. Let's talk to Wesley. What's up, Wesley? You here?
Yes, sir.
All right,
I'm here, John.
now we got you both. Look at us figuring out how to do the internet. So we should have put this in ChatGPT or something. All right, so y'all doing well? Before we get going, do y'all like each other?
We love each other.
We love each other.
Gross, Wesley. Good answer. All right.
This will be a fun one. But first of all, I just wanted to say your podcast has led some very funny conversations with our 12-year-old son. Because my phone will automatically connect, obviously, on my car. And I believe this was a couple years ago. He got in, and the title was "I'm having a hard time loving my children." And so he just looked over at me and rolled his eyes. He's like, "Really, Mom?" And then the most recent one was my sexual past is haunting me. And he just looked at me and said, "You listen to way worse stuff than the rap music that you won't let me listen to."
Well, that's when you should have said, "Hey, you didn't know your mom in college, buddy. Listen."
Yeah. No, so it's
extremely true.
Yeah. So that was his.
Dude, Wesley with the digs. That's awesome. No, my son's now old enough now where his buddies will send him episode titles and be like, "What's your dad do for a living, man?" And
Yeah.
anyway.
No, he goes, "I don't know what you listen to, but this is way worse than the rap music that you don't let me listen to."
Whatever. So. We're saving America, 12-year-olds.
But we are. He just, little does he know. So,
no, I love it. That's awesome. All right, so what's up?
Okay, so it's a funny, silly little question. So,
that means it's not funny or silly at all. This is awesome.
It is actually. It's a little battle we've been having. We're almost made for 15 years this year, and so. How do my husband and I find common ground when I want more tattoos, just like Kelly, shout out, and he does not like them at all?
Ooh.
And
Good.
he does not have any, and he does not like them.
Dude, that's a great question. All right, Wesley, why don't you love your wife? I'm totally kidding. All right. Okay,
and
Jennifer.
let me just preface this. He is very supportive in every other way. I mean, does the laundry, does anyway. And so this is the one thing that I don't know how to find common ground on this.
All right, tell me what, Aniston, tell me, I keep wanting to call you Jennifer. That's so funny. Aniston, tell me what, what did tattoos mean to you?
The most recent one, I wanted to get my husband's name and my two boys' names in Morse code. So it's not the handwriting. I just wanted it kind of in a different. And I think we kind of had a miscommunication on the placement. He does not want them on my arms.
It was in Morse code. Of course, there was a miscommunication. All right. So,
well, yeah.
So he wants them. You want them on your arms, like sleeves and stuff?
Oh, I would do a sleeve in a heartbeat.
Okay.
But I know that that's not. I know that would be him giving in way too much. So I'm just trying to. I guess I'm wanting family ones, right? My kids' stuff that means stuff. I'm past the stage of just going and getting them at 2 a.m, right? So these are very well thought out.
Yeah, but go deeper than that. you can put pictures of your kids and your handsome pants husband on the wall, and you can stitch their names into pillows. Why do you want to tattoo them on your body? Because there's the family one. What I have found personally is when I started getting family members tattooed, and I've got my kids tattooed on me. I've got all the names of the kids that we lost in miscarriage. I got all that tattooed on me, but it was also kind of like a way I could just go get tattoos and be like, no, you don't understand. It's for family stuff. You know what I mean? It gave me permission to kind of go do the thing that I really wanted to do anyway.
Well, that's true. I just like them.
But what about them? What is it? What do you think it announces to yourself and to the world?
They make me feel good, I guess. But they give me
it make you feel cool, make you feel hip,
maybe it gives me, because I kind of have low self-esteem, so maybe it gives me a little jump in my self-esteem, or because I'll see girls just with tattoo, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so pretty, or I've just always liked. I don't know. That's a way deeper question than what I thought.
Right.
It is. I think it is. It is a self-esteem thing. I feel good when I get them. I like to look at them. I like the reminders of them.
Do you like going into it's a little bit taboo to go into a tattoo shop, and the whole experience is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Where I go, I like all the people in there. They're all. I mean, it's just it's just an experience.
Well, I think it's fun. It's a fun. Yeah, it is. That whole experience is fun to me. And my husband, he doesn't have any, and he, I've always joked with him. I'm like, man, I would love if you'd be sleeved up, but I understand that he does not like them like that. And so, we've kind of he likes to call me a free spirit more. And he thinks things through a little bit more than I do. That's why we get along so good. So,
all right. So Wesley, why do you hate your wife? I'm just kidding. What is it about tattoos that you're like, I don't think they're beautiful. You don't need that. Tell me what they signal to you or what they mean to you.
Gosh.
Because let's put this out there. This is not about you trying to control your wife. I don't hear that at all.
Oh no.
And this is deeper than that.
It is. I just our latest is more of a, the placement that she wanted on her arm was just really, that was more of, I'm all on board with 100% with what she is, the reasons behind that she, family or whatever. And you kind of dug in a little deeper on that, but I get all that. And I commend her for the thought process of, what she's getting, why she wants to get it, the way she's thought it out. I just I just do not envision. Maybe I can learn to get over it, right? But I don't. I just have a hard time with the placement of it on her arms. I just don't see that being a positive thing for her. Maybe us moving forward.
Okay, so dig into that, because this isn't about her arm and even the placement. It's about. Are you worried that people are going to perceive her in a certain way, and you know her to be different? Are you worried about what's going to look like at dinner? What do you be honest about what you're worried about?
Yep. So, and you kind of said the word. I've always, and it's probably a fault of mine. Honestly, is I am somebody that through my life has really been dialed into perception and the way people perceive you, and
Gotcha.
and And it doesn't even mean that's who you are, right? It's somebody may be perceiving you one way, and that's just what they think, but that's really not who you are. It's not what your heart is. It's not who you are as a person. And that's 100% true about her. If she were to get sleeved up on her arms, I'm sure there would be some perception out there of her from various people or from just people we don't even know that wouldn't be true, right? But I've always, for whatever reason, a fault of mine has always been, or one of my things that I've always leaned on is, hey, perception is reality. And I mean, I just grew up, and I don't know if this helps you any, but I grew up really just super West Texas on a farm ranch. and just everything was just very cut and dry, black and white. We just didn't have any of that. Didn't do it. Nobody in my family did any of that. And so it's like, you were just taught a certain way. And so, yes, I love her to death. And yes, I support her in everything she does. And we have a great relationship. It's just on this subject, for sure, the placement bothers me maybe more than the fact that she may get another tattoo, right?
Sure, of course. But it sounds like it's less about her and more about you have a particular story about people who get tattoos all up and down their arms, especially women. And then when she got home, you went, oh God, that story is now her. Or I don't want anyone with the story I've made up about people with tattoos.
Right.
I don't want anyone saying that about my wife because I'm going to have to kill them and bury them out in West Texas and they'll never find them.
Very possible. Well, I would never do that, but yes, you're probably spot on with what you just said.
Well, and here's the thing, Aniston, and this is like, I'm covered up in tattoo, and I've got more underneath my shirts. Here's the thing. This has driven me crazy since I was this total poser wannabe metalhead. And like in high school, I would try to dress all cool and I'd wear Pantera shirts around and I'd wear black socks pulled up to my knee. Just a total clown. But if somebody called me on it, like, dude, what are you doing? We're going to like Walgreens. I would then be like, oh, bro, you're just going to judge me? And here's the thing. I clearly wanted people to look at me. Clearly. Wanted attention. And I also wanted an opportunity to be indignant. How dare you call me out for what I'm wearing, right? And it's like, why are you wearing that, right? So it's a weird thing of both and.
I don't like it. I think it's really too. I think it's a difference in our personalities, I guess. And like I said earlier, I think that's why we get along so good. To a certain point, right? I am respectful to people and all of that stuff. We teach our kids respect, blah, blah, blah. But I don't change who I am for other people. I don't care what other people think. I kind of dressed weird in high school too, and feathers and.
But Aniston, that's why a West Texas boy who still wears the same Justin boots and the same pants and who's had the same haircut since he was 3 years old. That's why he fell in love with you. Because you were his wild girl that was going that. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why. And that's why you married him, because this guy's going to pay the light bill every month. Yeah. Right?
Well, and I don't know. I always joke with him because he's about 7 years older than me, so I always tell him he's a different generation. And
he's not.
I know. And so I'm like, and I think it is. I just don't know, because where do we? Because I was trying to explain to him the last one that I wanted it on my arm. That's not one that I wanted to put on my back that I can't see.
Sure.
And so I'm trying to explain that to him. And so where is it a fine common ground to him say, okay, well, you can get 3 more and that's it?
I don't think that's where it's at, because that, in my opinion, is a recipe for resentment.
Yes.
Because at some point it becomes, I've lost autonomy of my body.
Yeah.
And in a way that's going to get me in trouble on the internet for saying this, part of me getting married was me saying this is ours. So it's a weird, it's a tension that exists. This is my body. This is my autonomy. And I entered into a covenant with you that said, till death do us part.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's both.
But I did have some when I met him, though.
Of course, yes. And here's the thing. I want my wife to think I'm attractive. I do. And she wants to be beautiful for me. It's both and, right?
Yeah, I feel like it's just a tug of war. They make me feel pretty, or I like them. Okay,
stop right there. Stop right there. That's it. Stop. That's all. That's what I want to hear. They make me feel beautiful. Period.
Yeah.
Exhale. They make me feel sexy when I'm out with you, Wesley, and you still have that blue and yellow plaid shirt tucked in.
He's not that country boy.
He's West Texas, I know. And you got your shirt, but it makes me feel like I'm a little bit wild. We're at the Aaron Watson concert, and the girls with the tattoos on their arms, they dance a little bit. They look like they're having a little bit more fun there, buddy. And but the line is, I feel beautiful. And I think every guy married should want his wife to feel as beautiful as possible. And Wesley, I want you, so Aniston, I want you to address, the elephant in the room for me is, what does this outward expression by inking up my body, what am I trying to communicate to the world, and what am I hoping the world communicates back to me? Because I may be out to lunch here, but Aniston, you feel beautiful and you want the world to think something of you. And my guess is Wesley has been trying in his West Texas way for all the years y'all been together to tell you those things. And it can often signal that you don't believe him.
Oh.
That he's been trying to tell you, I think you're beautiful. I think you're perfect just as you are. I love that you're a little bit wild. And also, do you have to go that far?
No, that's true.
And here's the other side of it. Wesley, you've made up some incorrect stories about people who have tattoos, especially women.
Fair.
And so it's a challenge every time.
Right.
And so there's not I was embarrassed to tell my wife, and I grew up listening to punk rock music and metalhead, and then when I started getting all tattooed up, and I loved it, and then I started traveling around in every city I went to. Instead of going to bars where I can get myself in trouble, I started getting tattoos, and so I kind of got over my skis on it, and then I made a mess, and I had to get more tattoos to make it not so great, right? Anyway, I remember telling my wife, this is how I've always envisioned myself. And she laughed, and she was like, I totally see that. Because you've always thought you were this punk rock guy, but you were a nerd. You were a graduate school professor, right?
Yeah.
But it was this, okay, now that I'm old, I'm going to do it. And so it's not I guess what I'm going to put out there, there's going to be people who, by the way, please, God, don't read the comments on this. Just don't do that to yourself.
Oh, no, I'm not.
There's going to be people that say, how dare you? You can do whatever you want. You go, girl. This is your life and whatever. And there's some truth to that. And Wesley, people are going to tell you, you small-minded West Texas hillbilly, you don't understand. They're going to tell you that. And then there's going to be the other side that's like, only these kind of loose women of the night get tattooed. They're going to put that in the comments, and they're going to say, Wesley, you go find yourself a nice Southern Baptist. You shouldn't have married a Methodist, right? And they're going to put all that. Here's the deal. None of that crap matters.
No.
What I love to hear you, Aniston, is be honest at the table. This isn't about like, no, I just want to honor you guys with my kids and my husband. I want tattoos, and this is like kind of awesome, and it's cool, and I want to see it. Like all that. I feel beautiful. And I like feeling a little bit edgy, and I'm 42, and I feel like I'm losing my little bit of edginess, and this allows me to stay in the game for another decade. Have those conversations, and then Wesley, be honest about, I can't believe this, but I just always assumed that people got those were fill in the blank. And that's not true. And it's awkward. It's weird for me.
Right.
And don't be afraid to say, I think you're beautiful with, like if she has blonde hair and she comes home dyed it black, you can be like, you look beautiful, but I think you're more beautiful the way God made you with blonde hair. And those, both of those are okay. So ultimately, y'all make this call together. And I don't have a good. I need
an answer though. I told you it's going to be a little hard one, but it is. It's a hard one because I still want to respect him. So
I'll tell you how we navigate at my house. I would love for my wife to be completely sleeved up. I think that would be that's in my head, and I don't think she cares either one way. Like she's just like, oh, wow. You did that again. How much was that? Like, I think she's more concerned about, man, if we'd put that in a Roth IRA, what that would have been for our grandkids. But here's what she did. She is so thoughtful that she went and hired an artist and sat down and said, she's been on like reading and she reads a lot. She's a writer. I have this picture in my head of this and this, and she commissioned an artist who drew an amazing thing, and she got it in her tattoos down her arm, like in very prominent place. And so she still can't wrap her head that I walk into a tattoo shop and I'm like, I don't know, man, let it rip. What do you think? She's like, that's insane. Right?
Yes.
And she knows my husband thinks this will be beautiful.
Yeah.
It's both and she's not sleeved up, and she's very thoughtful about the ones that she gets, but she is willing to say, okay, let's see what I can do here. What's a middle ground I can find? I'm not going to go sleeved up all the way. It's just not me. And if we see somebody out who's all sleeved up, she'll nudge me and be like, there she is. Check that out. And so she's not trying to hide anything. And I'm not weird and gross and like, oh my gosh, look how hot she is. I'm not an idiot. But also, she's like, okay, I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it all the way I would do it. Thoughtfully, take some time. I'm going to hire an artist. I'm going to get exactly as I want. I'm going to go in with a tattoo artist that we trust. I have here with Kate here in Nashville. Like, we're going to do a great artist who's amazing. And that's just the way we found common ground there. And now I've committed, like, dude, I'm taking a break. I'm going to take some time off. Kelly's still cranking them out. God almighty, she's got 20 tattoos. The amount of cover-up you have to go through every day, Kelly, is astounding to me. The whole studio back there is just a big poof of powder because she's so covered up. But we can see it. You're wearing that deep, deep V today. We can see that Old English right above your navel. If you're just listening, Kelly she went deep with the V today. You can see she didn't. Anyway. But Aniston Wesley, all I can say is, here's my final verdict. Not giving one. But when we come back, we're going to talk to a man whose brother-in-law just came out as transgender, and he's trying to figure out what's the right way to set boundaries. All right, it's time for a quick word about my friends at Delete Me. Does anyone else feel like our digital footprints are starting to feel more like digital trails, leading bad guys and scammers right back to us? And now scammers are using phishing attacks with a PH, where they try to trick you into giving them something by pretending to know you, by pretending they're your friend. You get an email, a text, or a phone call, and the person or AI bot on the other end sounds like someone who's looking out for you. With the new technological advancements, no one is really safe. And so what are we supposed to do? Start controlling what you can control. Learn about how to be careful online and offline, and sign up with Delete Me. I use and recommend Delete Me because they work in the background to reduce my online presence. That way, I don't have to worry about creepy data brokers having my data. Delete Me has reviewed over tens of thousands of sites for me, and they've removed my data from hundreds of them, which has saved me countless hours and a ton of stress. Stop phishing attacks, stop the harassment, and stop the online threats before they start, and take control of your digital privacy with Delete Me. Go to joindeleteme.com/Delony today for 20% off the annual plan. That comes out to less than $9 a month. That's joindeleteme.com/Delony. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. While the world seems like it's falling apart, we're all under huge pressure to perform and look like we're all keeping it together. And we all know that support is good, but we're not allowed to ask for it. Women are often told that they have to be everything to everyone all of the time, and somehow they have to just intuitively know how to do it all. And men are often told they are the reason for every bad thing in the world, and that asking for help means they are weak or less than. Here's a statistic that will blow your mind. 76% of people globally agree that mental health care can help resolve personal problems, yet 6 out of 10 people still believe that society discourages people from asking for help. Good folks, real strength comes from opening up about what you're carrying and doing something about it so that you can be your best self for you and for everyone else in your life. If you're feeling the weight of the world, talk to somebody, anyone, a friend, a loved one, or yes, a therapist. I talk with a therapist weekly, and you might consider doing it too. If you're thinking about trying therapy, contact my friends at BetterHelp. BetterHelp is 100% online therapy, so it's affordable and convenient for your schedule. To get started, just fill out a short online survey to get matched with a licensed therapist. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists at any time easily for no extra cost. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Delony to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Delony. We are back. Please take 10 seconds and subscribe to the show. If you're listening to us on a podcast, hit the like button or the download button. And if you're watching this on YouTube, take a second and hit the subscribe button. It makes such a difference across so many different platforms and places. So just take a second, hit the subscribe button. It means the world. All right, Little Rock, Arkansas. Let's talk to Roberto. What's up, Robert?
Hey, Dr. John. How are you this morning?
I'm good, brother. What's up with you?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just I've been watching your show for a couple of years now, and had something come up that I kind of needed some guidance on. I was really happy to hear that y'all would be willing to listen.
Yeah, bring it, man. What's up?
All right, so my brother-in-law recently came out as trans.
Okay.
And my wife wants to support him, but I feel that the way that she wants to support him could cause my kids to be subjected to things that they can't really comprehend. And
tell me about that. How does she want to support him?
Well, so roughly a year ago, he made posts on Instagram showing that he enjoyed wearing women's clothes. And then roughly a month ago or so, he made a post on Facebook showing that coming out as trans. And so I'm kind of wondering if he's going to start.
Well, did he now give a new name? Does she have a new name now that she wants to go by?
No, that's the thing. It's a little confusing to me.
Okay.
Because I say he, but she hasn't given a new name or anything.
Okay.
And I still call him, well, I'm not going to say the name out loud, but I still call him the same name.
Sure.
And they respond to it, and we talk, and we have a good relationship, as brother-in-law to brother-in-law.
Sure.
Or sister-in-law.
Does this person, and the whole, here's the deal. Right now, when you're talking to me, just know it's a confusing thing, and nobody here on this phone call is going to beat you up for trying to figure out somebody you knew for a long time. One of my biggest challenges is when somebody makes a big change like this, that there's not grace for people trying to say the right thing and do the right thing and get the name right and get the gender expression right. Like, that's hard. It's a mess. It's tough. And so everybody needs to be compassionate on every side. So, dude, I know you're doing your best to try to honor your brother-in-law / sister-in-law, and the name is the same, but also the Instagram post. Like, I get it's all just messy. So just know I'm not going to beat you up for either way, okay? I can hear in your voice you're trying to do this right, and you got some concerns too,
right.
Okay? So, same team here.
Right. Yeah, this is definitely new waters for me.
Sure. It's new waters for everybody. It's new waters for everybody. Do y'all live in the same community?
No, we live less than an hour apart.
Okay. How often do y'all see each other?
We don't see each other just a lot. Maybe like 4 times a year.
Okay.
Something like that.
So before we get to the kids part and all that, here's what I think would be a huge thing for your soul. Because I don't have a name and I don't have good context, I'm trying to honor everybody here. You called in about your brother-in-law, so I'm not trying to name shame anybody. I'm just going to call him your brother-in-law, okay? Because I don't have any other context here. I would call your brother-in-law, or if she prefers to be called your sister-in-law, I'd call this person and let's set up a lunch together. Like, you drive half, I'll drive half. And here's what we're doing. We're just listening to the story, because all you have right now is some phone calls and Instagram posts. And what I want to do is put my eyes on you, see how you're doing. And let's get to the human being behind the social media posts and behind all of the political rhetoric that's gone on the last 8 years and still going on now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Because here's what's happened.
I don't want to assume anything here, and I don't want to jump into anything.
That's right. On either side, you don't want to just be like, all right, whatever, because you're worried about your kids, and I'll address that in a second, and you don't want to be not compassionate, and even just a list of questions like, hey, how do I best love you? What do you want me to call you? Like, please have some grace with me when I mess this up. Like, it's putting all that out on the table, right? Because of the political landscape on both sides over the last decade or so, the moment somebody says a thing, they're instantly thrown into a group, right? Take transgender out. That's just such a third rail topic right now. The moment you buy a Tesla, well, it used to mean you were a super liberal. Now it means you're a super, right? Like, we just are so intent on categorizing everybody instantly, as fast as we possibly can, to decide every single variable in their life. And my 20 plus years of sitting behind closed doors with countless people, it's way more complex than that. Right? And so, like, man, getting at a table at a diner in in Arkansas somewhere and saying, dude, tell me what's going on. Tell me about your life. And tell me about your journey. I'm just here to listen. Is a great place to start.
That sounds like a good idea. I think it's probably my best next action, I guess.
And can I tell you what you're going to find out here? If this person sits down with you and you're like, man, this caught me off guard, and they drop their shoulders and say, yeah, this is a big one, then you're talking to somebody who is graceful and compassionate and who has been hurting inside and extends you the same grace they wish people had extended them. If this person attacks you at the table, then then that's the thing I'm more worried about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think you just find a lot about out with a sitting across the table from somebody. You don't have to do that. That's just what I would do. I'm thinking of my brother-in-law right now. That's what I would do. Okay, so keep going. What does support look like? Your sister says, I want to support him. Tell me, your wife says, I want to support him. Like, tell me what your fears are about that.
Well, just complete honesty.
Yeah, just let it rip. Let it rip.
Particularly, I don't particularly believe in the gender ideology movement.
Sure.
And it's not because of religious reasons or anything. It's just personal reasons.
Sure.
Kind of common sense.
Sure.
But I'm more libertarian in the sense that I do believe that they have the right to live however they want to live, as long as they're not bothering someone else or causing someone else major issues.
Sure.
And the ground rules I would want to lay out, and I spoke with my wife about this. It would be, keep the cross dressing to a very minimum when they come over to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And she wasn't too happy with that.
And what would that mean? And B, what would that accomplish for you?
Well, there's a lot of things that I've had to either explain to the kids so far, and they're young kids. I'll say, under 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of things that I've had to explain to them. And there's also a lot of things that I've had to tell them that's not something that you should worry about right now.
Give me an example.
Talk about it in the future. Well, we were driving in the truck, and I was listening to some music, and there was a song. My daughter asked me, I can't even remember the name of the song at the moment. The Midnight Toker. And my daughter asked me, what is a midnight toker? And I'm like, maybe I shouldn't listen to this song in the car with my kids.
It's legal in Little Rock. You're good. Old Steve Miller.
Yeah. Yeah. Great song, but maybe it's something that they should listen to when they get a little bit older. But I just had to tell her, that's something that you and I can talk about when you get older, and just put it in the back of your mind. Don't worry about it. It's nothing important.
So just so you know, what you did was you planted a seed and you fertilized the crap out of it. What's a midnight toker? What's a midnight toker? And what she also learned is that these kind of questions aren't okay with dad. And that means the first kid at school that says something about toking, she's going to be like, you know what a midnight toker is? And that's how one thing leads to another thing, which leads to come over at midnight tomorrow. Versus, have you ever heard of marijuana? What? You ever heard of marijuana? No? It's a plant people can smoke like a cigarette, and it makes their brain all silly. Really? Yeah. They used to do it back, and I'm just going to explain it. In our house, we don't do that. Yeah. Do you get the difference?
Yeah.
And so there's 100% chance that your kids will at some point be somewhere and see somebody with very masculine features that was a man at one point in their life, now dressed like their mom. And there will be some confusion. Every house is different. I'm just going to tell you, my house, I want my kids to ask any and all of those questions while they're still with me. And so when somebody sits down at our house who's transgender, which has happened, and they say, is that a guy wearing a dress? I can say, let's have that conversation. That happens sometimes. And here's the narrative. It's not me saying I approve of it. It's not me saying that, you can just make up whatever gender you want on whatever day. It's not any of those things. It is saying you're going to run into these things in the world, and I want to communicate to you. I will always be a better source than Google. And hear me say, I'm not going to be responsible for the values you make in your house. If you're uncomfortable with anybody sitting at your table, you have a right to say, I don't want this person at my table. Any and all of these choices we make just come with consequences, right? And in this case, it's you versus your wife or your brother-in-law. I think a lot of this smoke is cleared by sitting down and having a conversation. And just exhaling and saying, dude, it's gonna be weird if you show up at my house in a full dress, in full makeup, because I know you as my brother-in-law. We fixed the car together. We've done these things together, and this person may say, all that stuff will still be true. I'll still be with the car. I'm still good at. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't want you to get off this phone call with trying to import my set of values. Okay. I want you to.
No, but you make a lot of good points. I feel like maybe I've got this preconceived notion already, and instead of just hitting this head on, I'd rather just push it to the side and just try not deal with it or not bother with it. But I need to go eat lunch.
Yeah, bro. If you
have a conversation.
If all of us, myself included, would navigate the world like you did with what you just said, I think we'd have a radically different world. A radically different world. That may be the most courageous, brave, and heroic thing I've heard in a long time. Maybe I just need to go have lunch with them, whoever they happen to be. Republicans, Democrats, people on the other end of the aisle, somebody who's identifying as transgender now after being my brother-in-law for all these years, somebody who's, as a previous caller, somebody who's covered up in tattoos, somebody who's not, somebody from California versus somebody from Texas. Maybe I should just go have lunch with them. That's how we change this whole thing, guys. That's how we get hope back. Thanks for the call, Brother Robert. You are the man, Peter Pan, Stan. It's been an honor to talk to you. Next up, we talked to a mom who's wondering if she is too protective of her kids. I've been on board with the benefits of red light therapy for a long time, and that's why I'm excited to tell you about Bon Charge. Our lives are lived almost entirely inside, under the harrowing glow of fluorescent lights, little screens, medium-sized screens, and big screens. All of this stuff affects our mood, our sleep, our anxiety, and studies are showing it. And this is why I love Bon Charge. Bon Charge is a world leader in red light therapy and in EMF blocking gear. I use their red light therapies every single day. Red light therapy can help boost your mood, help with healing, help reduce stress, and even help with sleep. I use my red light therapy panels, the infrared sauna blanket, the EMF mat, all of it. And listen up, if your skin looks tired, check out Bon Charge's red light mask for skin recovery, collagen production, and improved blood flow. I got the mask, and I'm starting to look so handsome. Listen, just wear it 10 minutes a few times a week for fresher skin. No creams, no appointments. It's lightweight. It's cordless. Check it out. Go to boncharge.com/Delony and use coupon code Delony to save 15%. That's BONCHARGE. Boncharge.com/Delony and use coupon code Delony to save 15%. All right, Fresno, California. Let's talk to Kylie. What's up, Kylie?
Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. What's up with you?
Doing good. Just sitting in my garage, freezing my butt off.
Freezing? In Fresno?
It sure is.
How cold is it?
Freezing as Fresno is. I have no idea, like probably 60.
That's like a deep summer sweat if you're from Montana. All right, so what's up?
So basically my question is, like, am I too hypervigilant with my kids? Whenever I go out of the house, basically, I just have like a slew of worst case scenarios running through my mind at all times. And am I right to do that? Is that just like the day and age that we're living in? Or do I need to do some things to make myself just stop and, I guess, live more in the moment than trying to go through all these different scenarios?
You've been running scenarios your whole life. When did that start?
I don't know really. Probably my whole life, like you said.
What did you need to do? What did you need to stay safe from as a kid?
I don't remember a whole lot of my childhood.
Yep.
I mean, but it wasn't like terrible.
That's what people say when things weren't super great.
Yeah, I listened to the show a lot, and I just heard myself saying that I've heard 50 other people say before.
It just comes out like, oh, I need to defend everybody. What did you need to stay safe from as a kid?
Honestly, nothing bad. I spent a lot of time with like elderly relatives as a young kid, and probably just like a defense mechanism of my parents not really being like 100% there all the time, but
Where were they?
working.
So did you spend a lot of time with aunts and uncles and grandparents?
Yeah.
Were those good times?
Yes, as far as I can remember, everything was good.
Okay. Where were your parents working?
My mom works in like real estate. My dad's a teacher, but like a CTE teacher. So he did like a lot of extracurricular stuff outside of like regular school hours. So he worked pretty long days also.
Gotcha. How was college?
Didn't go to college. Well, I did like couple of years of community college pretty off and on, but just started having babies at 22.
Okay.
And just been a stay-at-home mom ever since.
How's your marriage?
It's great.
It's good.
I love my husband.
So what do you want to protect your kids from? What are you scared of?
Just like if I have to go to the park.
Hold on one second. I want you to really say it.
What am I trying? The world, I guess.
I know, but there's some.
I have a very recurring.
There you go. What are the specifics? Because you don't say it out loud ever because you're afraid people are going to think you're crazy or they're going to take your kids away, and so you just keep burying it, and the loop gets louder and louder and louder. Just say it. What are some things you're scared of? The pictures you have in your head.
Them getting kidnapped.
Okay.
It's like my number one fear that keeps coming up over and over again.
That you're going to be at a park with them, somebody's going to grab them and take off.
Yeah. And since I have 3, like how am I going to chase somebody if they grab one of my kids when I have 2 other ones that I need to keep track of?
What else?
The other one that like really, that was like kind of the catalyst for me writing in the question is we went to Yosemite for the day and went for a hike, and I like couldn't even look around because I was so glued to them. Because there were so many people there, obviously, and then there was the fear of them like falling off of the side of the cliff. And then we got to this one point of the trail where it's like a really rushing river with a bridge, and there's railing, but it's not like a super sturdy railing. And I couldn't breathe because I was picturing one of them falling off of the edge.
And this is one of those things that's both very true. It's right. If you got 3 little knuckleheaded kids, you should be worried about one of them flying off the edge. That's a real fear. But I'm guessing you wouldn't be calling me if your body didn't respond as though every minute of that walk, one of your kids had fallen off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like I felt like it already happened, not that it was going to happen.
Right. And so if you back out a little bit, we could dig through. Can I run through a few things and we're going to do real quick, play a 30-second anxiety roulette game?
Okay.
What's the state of your finances in your marriage?
Marriage good, finances we are very close to getting on top of, but in the past haven't always been great.
Okay, what's your housing situation?
We own our home, about to move pretty soon.
Where to?
Buy a new home. Pretty close by, like one town over.
Where are you moving?
House is too small. We're upgrading.
Okay. What about friends? Who do you
Friends
hang out with?
I have a really good group of mom friends that I just recently started hanging out with, and they've helped me get out of my shell. And
okay, hold on. That's not a really good group of mom friends. I've just started spending some time with some women that I'm practicing trusting.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How recent? 2 weeks or 2 years?
Probably around a year.
Okay. All right. What's your sex and intimacy life like? High level.
Good.
Good. Okay. What's the status of your health?
Trying to get better.
What's that mean?
I've had kidney issues in the past, and like that kind of keeps me on edge, like thinking that I could be in the hospital any minute with another kidney infection. But trying to drink more water, exercise more. That honestly could be another factor with the anxiety thing of my kids getting hurt, because I have a brittle bones disease and broke a lot of bones as a kid.
I'm laughing with you. Remember a minute ago when I said, tell me about your childhood?
Uh-huh.
You're like, no, it was great, except my bones would always break. I just don't have any memories
about it, because my parents never made me feel like that was something that limited me. Like, I
doesn't matter. Your bones were breaking.
Yeah.
Dude, you could give your kid, like, you can do anything except my legs explode. Right?
Yeah.
What's the nature of brittle bone disease? What's the actual diagnostic?
It's called osteogenesis imperfecta. I
Yes.
have the least severe type.
Oh, good. So you're going to minimize that too.
Puberty.
Oh, cool. I only mostly have a...
I mean, compared to the people who have the most severe.
All right, good.
I definitely.
Good. Wait, yeah. Awesome. Here's all I want you to do. Okay, I'm going to send you a copy of Building a Non-Anxious Life, my book. Okay, I want you and your husband to follow the map in the book. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just guessing, and only because I can't tell you how many people with anxiety I've sat with over the years. Countless, myself included. I'm going to make up something that may or may not have any validity to it, but I want to just give you an example of what I'm looking at, okay? Mm-hmm. If you're a little bitty kid who knows, hey, if a wrong step and my ankle just breaks, or me swinging a baseball bat and my elbow may just break, right? Or my shoulder socket may just break. It's the least severe, I know, but it just happens. And mom and dad are gone all the time. And I'm looking at my elderly relatives that are amazing. They're great. They're caring. But there's a little kid saying, where's my mom and dad? Where's my mom and dad? Where's my mom and dad? At any moment, my arm's going to break. That is a recipe for a kid with a pretty finely tuned nervous system and a pretty cautious next step. You had to have that next step because you were in charge of you at a very young age. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean anyone was bad. It doesn't mean anybody didn't love you, yada, yada. But that meant you were very unaware. My daughter has a peanut allergy. And I didn't find this out until at the very end of her first grade year that they made her sit at a table all by herself. Could not believe it. But she has a very finely tuned, if I eat the wrong thing, I'm dead. And there's an anxiousness that's just wound into that, right? Mm-hmm. That's real. That's just a reality that you lived with, that she lives with, okay? And then you get married, and then finances are tough, and then you start having babies, and then your kidneys, and then your body, and then there's this, and then I'm just going to be on Instagram because I don't have a lot of people. I got 3 young kids. My husband's at work. I'm here by myself, and. Because here's what I promise. If you hired 2 full-time security guards just to watch your kids, that spinning loop inside your head would just move to the next thing. Mm-hmm. What if the fires get up to Fresno? We're going to get covered up in fires. And then your husband would get fire insurance and take the neighbors' houses and like raise them to the ground and then put up a fire break, and then it would move to the next thing. And then it would move to the next thing. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And my guess is this has happened most of your life. Maybe not. But generally, this doesn't come out of a vacuum. And the questions I want you to do is this. I want you to back all the way out. Yes, it's right to be nervous that your kids are going to fall off a high, like whatever, at Yosemite, of course. It's not normal that you put some boundaries in for your kids, you take the right precautions, and then you can look up and be awe-inspired, full of wonder too. Both things can be true. And right now it feels impossible because your body's just sounding every alarm it has all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Does that sound, tell me if I'm out to lunch or if you're like, oh God, you're hitting it right on the head.
Hitting it right on the head.
Okay. You have to listen to this promise I'm going to make you. If you will head directly into these alarms, and by the way, you cannot go by yourself. You got to get a counselor. You got to get a couple of girlfriends that will walk with you. I have peace on the other side of this that I did not know was possible. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tell you something crazy. You know what I do at night? I just lay down and fall asleep. Can you imagine that?
How is that possible?
Right? Exactly.
You mean you don't worry that someone's going to break in through your kid's window?
I can't even read a book. I read 3 pages now. I just fall asleep. I'm out. Now, I still have OCD. I still go check the lock 7 times. But then when I go in my room, I fall asleep and I'm kaput. Comically kaput. I can't get my kids away from my presence because I'm not an anxious nuclear reactor anymore. I have just a peace that's about me. But the only way is going straight into those alarms. Now, when I still have a fear of heights, it's a hilarious thing. I'm not scared of fighting. I'm not scared of guns. I'm scared of heights, and I don't know why. But when I'm with my son and we're walking somewhere really high, like if we're hiking on a ridge or we're doing something, and I'll say, hey, I need you to take care of your old man on this one. And he'll laugh, and he'll fake like he's going to fall off, and then he walks really carefully with me. And I tell him, I need you to do this because it makes me, right? I am outsourcing this to you for a second. Please don't walk by that railing. But it's a funny thing now. It's not life or death. And I've been life or death. I get it, man. It's like being betrayed by your own body, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. Ugh. You're not crazy. Can I tell you that?
Thank you.
And I promise there's peace on the other end of this. Hang on the line. I'm going to send you Building a Non-Anxious Life. It's my best-selling book. I want you to read it. I'll even send you a link to the audiobook. I know your mom with 3 little kids. If you just want to put it in your headphones and go for a walk around the neighborhood, then you can do that. And there's questions at the end of every chapter that I want you and your husband to go through together. And it's just laying everything out. What is my body trying to solve for right now? And it might be health and healing. It might be my body is constantly worried about my bones, so I need to make sure I go to the doctor on a regular basis. We can't afford that. Okay, we got to get our finances. All that, you just follow the map there. Okay? But your anxiousness is right. And is there such thing as too hypervigilant? 1,000,000% yes. Is there a chance kids get kidnapped? Yep. Is it nearly the prevalence that's in the media? Not even in the same universe. Do I let my kids play out in the yard? And my son's 15. He rides the bike all over Nashville. Do I get nervous? Yeah, of course. Is he 15? Yes, he's just go do his thing. Do I let my daughter go 2 miles away by herself? No. Do I let my daughter run around outside with some friends? Absolutely. Yes, I do. I do. Whew. We're solving for peace here. Thank you for the call, Kylie. You're a brave, awesome mom. We'll be right back. All right, it's time to talk about Helix. Summer is here. Sun's up earlier, school's out, so the kids are going bananas. And if you're like me, your daily routine has exploded. And when that happens, what's the first thing that tanks? Sleep. So I'm going to be real with you. When I'm not sleeping well, I'm short with my wife, I'm grumpy with my kids, and at work, everything feels harder than it should. Sleep isn't just about closing your eyes and resting. It's about being able to show up the next day as the kind of person you want to be for yourself and for those who need you to show up for them. That's why I sleep on a Helix mattress. Before Helix, I tried all kinds of mattresses. They were too soft or too stiff, had memory foam that felt like quicksand, whatever it is, you name it. But Helix matched me with the perfect mattress based on how I sleep and based on who I sleep next to. Yes, they've even got mattress options for couples who need different feels on the same bed. It's incredible. So get online and take the Helix Sleep Quiz just like I did. It takes less than 2 minutes, and they'll match you with the perfect mattress that's just right for you. Plus, right now, my audience gets exclusive savings on the Helix 4th of July sale, 27% off site-wide. Go to helixsleep.com/Delony and get 27% off. That's Helix, Helix, helixsleep.com/Delony. With Helix, better sleep starts right now. All right, Kelly, something cool happened. What's up?
All right, so this guy asked to remain anonymous, so we'll respect that. He writes, I wanted to say thank you for taking the call from the young lady who went through a divorce at 24. A little behind the scenes. We took a call very recently that just aired. She was 24, had gone through a divorce, and was wondering how to tell people when she was dating.
Oh, yeah, I remember that call. Okay, yeah.
As a fellow 24-year-old who's currently going through a divorce, after I found out about my spouse's infidelity with a coworker, this call helped immensely. It helped guide me toward the next right steps. Allowing myself to go through this grieving process she mentioned once it was finalized, while using your advice on giving myself time to drop my shoulders, exhale, and give myself some grace has been instrumental in helping me navigate the complicated emotions that are part of this journey. Also, being able to realize that I am not alone in this experience has helped me confront the stigma in the dating world that I have nothing to hide and it does not define me. It is just part of my story. Thank you again for being you and everything you do on the show.
Dude, thanks, Anonymous. That means the world, man. That means the world. Very cool. I don't even have anything to add to that. That was just awesome and nice and kind. And I wish you the best in your new romantic dating adventures. Make good choices. And don't swipe. Just meet somebody in person. For God's sakes, don't get near as many tattoos as Kelly has. It's too much. Love you, bye.